I want to talk to you about customer experience, customer retention, customer service, how you interact with your clients. Because having an existing client, retaining an existing client, growing an existing client account has significantly greater value than acquiring a new client, although you should obviously be looking to do that as well. And I think the mindset that underpins really truly great client service is one that avoids complacency. So it doesn't matter how good, how long lasting, how trusted a client relationship is, one should never get complacent. It's a little bit like in a marriage where when you first start getting to know each other, you're dating and you're making lots of effort, both parties hopefully are making lots of effort to get to know each other, to spend time with each other, to find out what matters to the other person. But over time, in many long-lasting relationships, a little bit of complacency does creep in. You stop asking questions and you start assuming that you know what matters to the other person. And that complacency can sometimes result in, well, divorce. Now, if you don't ever want to get divorced from your clients, then it's quite a good idea to continue to date them, to continue to listen, to continue to really take on board what really matters to them. So the voice of the customer is absolutely vital. But what underpins it is a mindset that I think was best articulated by a guy called Bob Moesta, M-O-E-S-T-A, if you want to look him up. A book of his called Demand-Side Sales 101 is really quite profoundly useful on this topic, and effectively what he's suggesting in that book is that your client doesn't actually buy your product or your service. All your client does is they rent an outcome from you until something better comes along. And if you adopt that mindset, then it automatically pushes you and your business into certain behaviors. And those behaviors will include constantly trying to improve the service, asking for feedback, trying to iron out any little wrinkles that there might be in what you do, trying to improve your speed to market, your efficiency, trying to improve the quality and the caliber of what you do at all times in a way that is relevant, always in a way that is relevant to the client or the customer, to help them to achieve their outcomes, because fundamentally that is what you're there to do. And if you do that, if you maintain that bleeding edge approach where you're constantly trying to improve, then you are significantly mitigating and reducing the chances that your client or customer is going to get swayed when the next shiny thing comes along, and the next thing that purports to be able to do what you do only maybe a bit better, only maybe a bit cheaper, only maybe a bit quicker. And that lack of complacency is something that then also helps you to acquire new customers and new clients, because of course if your service or product is constantly improving, is constantly shifting and getting better and better, then of course that is going to help you to gain even further market share as well. So it has an iterative benefit not only to client retention but also to client acquisition. So I commend it to you as a business mindset, and I strongly advocate for having that client retention, or if you're in a more transactional kind of business, client referrals, client introductions, as being key performance indicators that should be considered at board level at all times. So there you go. Your client does not buy your service. Your client does not buy your product. All they do is they rent an outcome until something better comes along.